Welcome to the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show, where we talk about food, fashion, finance, and foundations of life. We are live on KCAA Radio Broadcasting Network. KCAA is affiliated with CNBC, NBC News, and NBC Sport. We are sponsored by Sheltered Studios, Fire Connect, and Building Solid Foundation.
Welcome back. This is Razo, your radio host with the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show. I'm very happy and honored to be here with my amazing guest, Sil Carpenter. She's not in Germany right now. I think she's back in San Diego, but she actually flew from Germany. So before we even go and talk more about this ERC program, what were you doing in Germany? What were you doing back at your hometown?
Well, yeah, I had a business to attend to, and I was also visiting with some of my friends and staying at my cousin's house. So it was wonderful. I was only there for a week. It's cold there. That's why I live in San Diego.
When you said cold, I'm like, wait. It's cold over here. It snowed in Chicago. It usually starts to snow in December. So the weather is a little bit unpredictable right now.
Yeah.
So we have snow. So on the ERC program, I want to hear a little bit more of those success stories. Give me one example. You don't have to name names or anything, but what they've received so far? Give me some good testimonials.
So some people have received 250,000. Some have received 1.2 million. Yes, a friend of mine in Las Vegas, they own a large network marketing company. They have, I don't know how many employees, but they just received a check for 1.2 million. So that is huge.
Wow, who in the world gives you 1.2 million? I mean, when I hear that, I'm thinking I can probably buy myself a piece of land or 3 homes. So again, this is important. When you hear the ERC program, this is not a fraud. This is not a scam. You remember the PPE program? Everyone was getting money, and probably some of you were left behind because you did not trust it. You thought this was a scam. Well, the ERC program, like Silk is telling us, is not a scam. This is real. And you can contact her and her team. Can you tell us again the phone number in case they didn't write it?
Absolutely. It's 619-316-1380. Again, it's 619-316-1380. And make sure if you leave me a message, make sure you speak that I can hear it. Leave your name and your number and the reason why you're calling. Or if you just text me, just put that information in the text as well.
And so I'm working.
So that way I can get back with you.
And as you know, as you guys want to know, I'm actually her client. I want to get some money. I don't want to leave that on the table. Talking to you about that experience. And if I get my thousands of dollars, I'm going to shout it out and make sure that you contact Silk. So another question on this. How much money is left? Do you know how much money is left?
I don't know. Nobody has said that. It's just been said that I have heard that make sure you do it as fast as possible because you know how the government is. Just never know what's going on. They could just suddenly say, oh, we just stopped the program. So just don't wait. It's not, it's like I said, it's a lot of money that may be coming to you. Yes, these friends of mine got 1.2 million back. Another friends got 250,000. And I mean, even if you just get 10,000 or 20,000, that's extra money that you didn't have before and that you already paid in to the government. So that's why it's so important. Government doesn't give us much back generally. So this is very important to get this benefit back.
Okay, awesome. So you talked about this program and you're very passionate about it. So what other projects or businesses are you involved?
Okay, so I also own a language academy in San Diego, California. Has won several awards over the last few years as the best language school in San Diego. I mainly teach German and English, and it's all online now. I used to have a classroom in my house before COVID. I also used to teach at UCSD in San Diego. But now everything is very easy, no matter where you are in the US or in the world, you can attend the classes. It's all on Zoom. I teach them myself. So they a lot of fun. They're very interactive. In the very, even if you don't speak any German, in the very first class, you start speaking, you start using your mouth and making the sounds, because the only way you can learn a language is by actually using it. You can listen to me all day. That doesn't help you. You actually have to practice and use it. So I love when my students start talking right away. We start off with the alphabet if you don't know any German or any English, and we move forward from that. I have a much different style of teaching than most other language programs. I also curb my classes to small groups of 10. I never have more than 10 people in my classes, because it doesn't make sense to stuff the classes because people don't get practice. So to me, it's very important that my students get to speak, get to be able to interact and practice right away what we learn. That's another reason why I have actually broken down my classes into beginning 1 and 2, advanced beginning 1 and 2, and so on, because I actually call it bite-sized German. German, for instance, is very grammar heavy. So if you ever tried learning German, you got frustrated, I'm your person to help you, because I am very good at the grammar. So therefore, I can make it very simple. And I think it's so important, because if you have so much grammar in one class, it's just too much. So I give you nice bite sizes of the grammar, we practice, and then we move forward that way. So it's just a very nice, fun, happy environment. So if that's what you're looking for, and German is always good to learn, it's also really supported for older people, because your mind goes if you don't use it. And with German, you really have to think to use it, because a lot of things change, endings, articles. I mean, it is really fun. If you love math, it's you love German, because it's like you have to put together. It's not a language that easily duplicates. You have to really know the grammar and the underlying way to structure things, and then it duplicates. But so it's fun.
Wow. So is that why Germans are super good at math? I mean, if I can name any formula out there or any algorithm that was created, it usually comes from Germans. And is that why they're very clever? Because their language is not as, I mean, it's not that simple. Like you said, there's a lot of patterns and structures. Would you think that's possibly a reason why they're so good at math?
I think so, because Germans, you've maybe even noticed, if you know Germans, they're very detail oriented. And I
Yeah.
noticed people, the language really has a lot to do with it. I've learned several languages. So looking at the English language, it's very basic. And lots of times people tell you, oh, I've learned English on the TV. Well, it's possible, because nothing changes. And people, I find people that have the native tongue of English also are more simple. Not so necessary, and of course that does not apply to everybody, but I find that when I look at a language, it really brings home how a lot of the mannerisms of the people that speak that language.
Wow. So how do you say I'm happy in German? Let's see if I can learn that.
Ich bin glücklich.
Oh, goodness. Say that again.
Yes. Ich, repeat
Ich,
after me. Bin,
ich bin
bin glücklich.
glücklich.
Perfect.
Ich,
Ich bin glücklich.
ich bin glücklich.
Ich bin glücklich.
Ich bin glücklich. I can't say the
Glücklich.
last part.
Yes, that it has some sound
Glücklich.
like glücklich.
Glücklich.
Yes,
Glücklich.
you're saying it correctly. That
Ah.
lich, if you feel air moving over your tongue.
Glücklich.
Glücklich.
All right. Well, in Spanish, the hardest thing, I think the hardest, because the language is not that difficult. The hardest thing is the rolling the R, training the tongue. Like when you say
Hello.
car, carro.
Hello.
The R.
I have practiced. I speak some Spanish, not as much as I would love to, but yes, I agree with you. I love Spanish. So.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest thing in Spanish, and the double R's. That's what is difficult. So I am very amazed. And the German language, I had a question about the language. Why is this important for you to teach the German language?
I love the language. I love sharing my native tongue with others because we speak German actually in quite a few countries. German in Germany, in Switzerland, in Austria, in Liechtenstein. And it's funny, a lot of people learn German also in South Africa. They speak mostly Afrikaans, but Afrikaans has actually a lot of German words in it. So it's very easy for them to also learn German. And I think it is just so wonderful. I grew up in Germany, and in order to graduate from high school, I had to learn 3 foreign languages. And so languages are a huge part of my life because living in Europe, the countries are very close together, and every country speaks a different language. So is, you know, if you are traveling, and my passion is travel. So I started traveling when I was very young. And so, yes, you want to be able to even just say a few things. I went to Rio very recently, and I learned some Portuguese before I went because people told me people don't speak English there. And, you know, when I travel, I don't expect people to speak English or German or Spanish if that's not their native tongue. That's just you know, the way I was raised. But yes, sharing, I think German is a very, very beautiful language, and certainly it's has a lot of grammar to it. And when you are becoming fluent, it's just such an amazing, you know, you see people when they struggle sometimes, and then suddenly they don't even think and they start speaking, and they're like, did I just say that? And I love that when it finally all comes together, and you know, this starts speaking, having conversations. I have at the end of most of my classes are either 10 weeks for the more advanced and 12-week classes for the beginning classes. And even with beginner 1, at the end of the class, the last class, the students have to give a presentation in German. So depending on what class it is, beginner 1, you have to give a presentation about yourself and your family. Just keep it very simple. Most people have trouble giving a presentation in their native tongue. So, but I want them to see how much they've learned in just these 12 weeks. So I love that. I just absolutely love that because it's a huge achievement to learn another language.
Wow. I actually have a class graduation for my power of numbers. I will talk about that a little bit more on our last segment, because we're going on our last segment here. But how can we know about the school? What's the name of the school? How do we find you if we want to take German?
I have a website. So the name of the school is Deutsch mit Silke, meaning in English, a German with Silke. But I named the school in German. So Deutsch mit Silke, which is a Deutsch, and then mit is MIT, and then my name Silke, SILKE. And the website is www.deutsch-mit-silke.com. So you can also Google it. And I have all my classes on there. I have just uploaded the winter classes. You can enroll right in online, so it's not a problem. You can enroll right there. I also teach private lessons or semi-private lessons. You can contact me at the same phone number for that, and we can set them up for you. We work around your schedule and whatever works for you. So you can literally attend the classes or private lessons anytime it fits for you. We'll work it out, and you can be anywhere in the world.
Awesome. So we're gonna go on a short commercial. So far we talked about the ERC program and amazing German classes offered by Silk. Silk. So on the next segment, we're gonna remind you of what this ERC program is in case you just tuned in a little bit later. So you do not miss this valuable information. We don't want anyone to leave any money on the table. So stay tuned for that again. And I have one last question about Silk, and I want all of you to learn more about this wonderful woman and how we met. I want to actually tell you how I met her. So stay tuned for that. This is your radio host, Martha Razo, with the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show.
Welcome to the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show, where we talk about food, fashion, finance, and foundations of life. We are live on KCAA Radio Broadcasting Network. KCAA is affiliated with CNBC, NBC News, and NBC Sports. We are sponsored by Sheltered Studios, Fire Up Connect, and Building Solid Foundation.